Hey, this is Chichi's Creations, and welcome back to the channel. It's so great to see you. And today I'm doing something a little bit different. I usually create on this channel, but I want to talk about how to create art during each phase of your menstrual cycle. I think that there's so many videos out there about how to exercise during each phase of your cycle and how to eat and diet during each phase of your cycle, even how to work during each phase of your cycle. But how about how to create art during each phase of your cycle? How to lean into your creativity and even when to draw back, depending on where we are in our menstrual journey. I started my YouTube channel in April, and it was a huge leap for me. I went from somebody who would never even post my face online and barely has an online presence to starting to make videos and posting them publicly. So that was huge for me. And I am now at a place where I have completed my first. I'm so happy someone wasn't standing at that pier. I don't care. Like, I really don't care. That is so funny. Literally everything. Everything. I saw everything. I just don't care about things like that. That is hilarious. I don't know why. I just don't care. I am so shaken. So last week I attempted to make actually a good number of videos. I'm actually going to be having a procedure done pretty soon. It's a surgical procedure, and I wanted to batch a ton of videos so that I can upload those during my recovery instead of having to make videos during my recovery. And last week, I just could not get into making videos. It was like not working out. I wasn't feeling any of the videos I was making. I didn't have the energy to finish the videos I started. Even the crochet projects I was doing, I didn't have the energy to really work on them anymore. I would start them, but I didn't want to complete them. I remember telling my sister about it and how bad I felt about how this could be the first week where I didn't post 2 videos a week, and I just felt awful about it. And she mentioned how women are just different and how we don't have to be overly consistent, and that isn't everybody's calling. And that got me thinking about women and our cycles and how that influences our creativity. There's so many videos out there about syncing your cycle to your diet, your work, your exercise, but I've never seen a video about syncing your cycle to your creativity. So, to give myself a break, considering where I currently am in my menstrual cycle, I want to give you the proper research on how to create art and crafts during each phase of your menstrual cycle and how to nourish your soul and not feel bad when you are not being consistent. So I'm going to start with the luteal phase. This is the phase right before our period starts. Our luteal phase is when our hormones fluctuate and when we get PMS, and for those of us that have PMDD, that's when those symptoms are probably at its peak. This is why we should think about our luteal phase as a kind of winding down phase. We're typically encouraged to do moderate cardio and light strength training, and we're told to focus on eating foods that are rich in magnesium and zinc and healthy fats to restore lost energy. But what are we creatives supposed to do in this time? How do we create in our luteal phase? During our luteal phase, we should direct our energy towards focusing and completing. So this basically means we're moving from placing our energy outwards to placing it inwards. It's the time to really focus on ourselves, because so much of our insides is kind of playing with our feelings, so to speak. So, what does that look like when we're creating? Our luteal phase is a great time to edit work, to polish off existing projects, to do small and simple administrative tasks that are associated with our arts and our crafts, and organize our studios and our space so that we could thrive in our later phases. I actually did a reorganization of my art space in my bedroom during my luteal phase without even knowing any of this. And I am really happy that I prepared that space for myself to feel a little calmer as I was entering my next phase. So when I think of luteal, I think of clean. It's a time to clean your space, clean your body, clean your work, and clean your mind. And when I say clean your mind, I mean it's a great time to write down video ideas instead of trying to film new videos. It's a great time to edit videos instead of trying to film new videos. It's a good time to plan out videos instead of really trying to start out new projects and videos. It's a good time to make lists, sketch, and even make vision boards. And for people that crochet like me, it's a great time to write out all the crochet projects you want to get done, what yarn you need, and what tools you need to buy. It's about setting ourselves up in a way that we can be successful during our menstrual phase. And what does it mean to be successful during our menstrual phase? That is different for everybody. So, our menstrual phase is our actual period. That's when we bleed. And during this phase, we should redirect our energy towards reflection and intuition. You should go with whatever feels right in the moment. Just go with it. Don't overthink, don't overplan, don't overspend. This is where our energy is at its very lowest in the entire month. So we should be working towards stabilizing our energy where we have it instead of trying to raise our energy or instead of draining our energy. So, what should our menstrual phase look like for those of us that are creatives? We should act on our intuition. Even if there was a plan, even if there was a sketch, even if there was a painting, a crochet or knit project, poem, script, video, plan, whatever, if your body, if your mind, if your spirit is telling you to do something else on a whim, just do that. It's not a time to stick to the plans if that's not what you are being called to do in that moment. Just scrap whatever it is and do what's right for you in the moment. If it feels like you should follow your plan and that's what feels right, do that. But if for any moment you don't want to crochet that hat, instead you want to crochet a bolero or a top, do that instead and disrupt your plans by still creating. It's better to create than not to, right? If you're into journaling, this is also a good time to journal some insights about what you're feeling and how you're moving and how your body and mind is communicating with you. And it's just a good time to write down what you're experiencing. It's a good time to notice what actually gets you out of bed during this time. What sparks you during this time? Our energy is at its very lowest, so whatever is able to get you out of bed is worth noting, and that is something that's probably very important. You should take note of that, and you should treasure that thing that keeps you going. But of course, during our menstrual cycle, we're bleeding. So this is a time for rest. It's a time for stepping back. We need to refill our wells, so to speak. Creatively, we do this by acting on what we know is best during that moment. It's kind of the time to get back to the core of why we do what we do. A lot of us don't know why we're creatives, but we're creating anyways. And that's what the menstrual phase kind of embodies. Create anyways. Create for creating's sake, and only if you want to. If you don't want to create during your menstrual phase, don't create. That's also very important. You should take note of that. Now we move on to the follicular phase. This is when our estrogen rises and then our energy is coming back to us, and it seems like things are balancing and everything is right in the world. It's like new beginnings. Your trainer might have you prepare for a marathon during this time because your energy is coming back, and you might be encouraged to eat foods that are going to help sustain that energy and even bring it up more. um, it's just it's like spring where the flowers are growing back. That's our follicular phase. The most important thing during this phase is to support your energy. It's there, and you don't want to do anything that will drain it. It's like a gift being given to you. Here's all this energy. Do something that will support it, not something that will drain it. As our estrogen levels rise, so does our creativity. Our inspiration and enthusiasm soars. So support your energy by brainstorming new projects, start new things during this time, experiment with new mediums. If you are someone that always uses acrylic paint, you might want to try oil or watercolor or gouache. Um, there's so many mediums to explore. If you are someone that crochets all the time, you might want to try knitting. And if you have never crocheted like a dress, you might want to try that over just doing short term projects. The phrase to remember during our follicular phase is new, new beginnings, new, 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 new. It's also a great time, like with our luteal phase, to plan things. But who cares if you actually do those things that you're planning? Like, this is not the time for us to be introspective and get down on ourselves that we're not actually doing the things that we want to do. The fact is, you want to do things, and you're taking notice of that. And those were really cute ducks. This is not the phase to worry about if you're going to finish the things that you start. It's the phase where you actually start those things. Now, lastly, our ovulatory phase. This lasts for 2 days, maybe 3 if you're lucky. And if our cycle was represented by a line graph, this would be our peak. It is where our estrogen levels are at its very highest. Our energy is at its highest. It's like our superhero phase. But I'm not going to tell you to go all out. You might be working out like crazy at the gym during this time and eating to maintain your energy and raise your energy. But with creating art, I want you to use this time to actually step back and think about your potential and all of the possibilities. This is a time where anything feels possible. We feel our strongest. We feel our healthiest. So instead of burning ourselves out physically, let's think about where our art can take us. Because it can take us places, it can take us anywhere. Think about the crazy projects you can make in the future that you don't even have an ounce of the talent to complete yet, but you're thinking about that anyways. Think about all the videos that you can make and all the exotic locations and all the amazing people that you can collaborate with that you haven't even met with, but one day you might meet them. This phase is great for collaboration, sharing, and exploration. Collaborate with people, share your work online, share it with people in your real life. Don't be afraid, don't cower. Like, open up to the world. Explore the complex projects that you can only see yourself doing if everything just aligned perfectly. Explore them anyways, do them, see what happens. Maybe you're at that place where it can actually be completed. Sharing your stuff online might get you closer to your goals. Collaborating with other artists might get you closer to your dreams. And exploring these complex projects that you don't even think you have the talent to achieve might get you closer to where you actually want to be. And with all advice, especially when it comes to advice about your menstrual cycle, you do not have to line up your schedule perfectly so that it perfectly aligns with your cycle. It's just a good reference to have in times when you feel like you are underperforming, or even in times where you feel like you're performing more than you expected yourself to perform. It's like there's an internal reason that is. You are running better because you're at this particular phase in your cycle, and you're running slower because you're at this particular phase in your cycle. And that's the same thing with our creativity. And for those of us that are focused and are disciplined in our arts, we experience different things during the month because of where we are in our cycle. Maybe you're not performing like you'd like to in your luteal phase, but that's because that's your winding down phase. You're not supposed to be performing like crazy during that phase, and you're winding down so that you can have enough energy to perform during your ovulatory or follicular phase. Like my sister said, we're women, and we don't have to be consistent all the time, every time. Just not the truth for the majority of us, that we can do the same thing every day. It's nice to notice that we have a cycle, and that cycle influences our energy levels, our creativity levels, and how we can best spend our time. So thank you for watching this video. I'm Chichi's Creations. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you think about art and creativity and womanhood, and how your cycle influences your craft. Bye.